You know, I have a unique privilege on an ongoing basis of having people ask me, gosh, what makes your life work? How come you're so successful? And as I really look at that question deeply, the answer that comes up for me over and over again is that the quality of my life really is the quality of my relationships. Everything that I can see that is great in my life has come out of my interactions with people I really care about. You know, right now it's 2 o'clock a.m., and I'm finishing up here in the studio these last few tapes and my messages to you. And I just hung up the phone with the lady of my life, Becky, who really has transformed me. You know, she is the strength and the power in my life. I have to say that I've always been committed to success, and I've always been an achiever and made things happen. But the relationship that I've developed with my wife is probably the single most powerful thing that's molded me and created for me the level of joy that I really experience in my life. I had the success, but being able to share it with somebody I really care about at the deepest level has created the depth of my life. You know, it's kind of like I can remember, to give you a simple metaphor, what it felt like when I used to go to a movie, and I'd be at the movie, and the movie was like so great, and I'd turn and realize I was there by myself experiencing it. And I know that you can enjoy a movie that way, but to me it just doesn't seem to be quite the same. And I feel the same way in life, that every one of us deserves to have that incredibly rich experience of having the texture of life called relationship. And I don't know where you are in your life right now, whether you be married or single, or whether you have somebody special in your life or not. But I thought we might just take a few minutes and chat about some of the things, at least, that have worked for me and the people that I've had the good fortune to spend time with who seem to have relationships that really work. And I think I'd like to start by just saying this. The biggest challenge that people have in relationships that keep them from having the level of intimacy and love that they really want is they're looking for a relationship to be the solution to their problems. And the reality is, if you're going to a relationship to change your life, to change who you are or what you're experiencing, you're using a relationship in a way that disempowers you and the person that you want to be closest to. I think that if you want a relationship to work, there are some cardinal rules that we really have to live by. And there are some skills we have to follow through on. And I think the cardinal rules are, number one, that instead of going to a relationship to get something out of it, if you want a relationship that works, you must approach relationship in a totally different way. And that is, you must think of a relationship as something that you come to give something to, rather than something you go to take something out. What I mean by that is, if you're always looking at the people in your life that you care about most, and your thoughts are, how can I give to this person I love? How can I create more joy, more pleasure, more happiness, more love for this person? If your focus is consistently on that, then in order to give, you have to put yourself in that loving place. If you're always coming from that frame, then the person you're in a relationship with will always be trying to do the same with you. You know, what you put out does come back tenfold, and the greatest place to experience that is with someone that you're totally intimate with.
And by the way, I want to remind you of something else. When it comes to the area of a relationship, you must live by the philosophy of constant and never-ending improvement, the philosophy of Canai, capital C-A-N-I. If you aren't constantly improving your relationship, it's getting worse. You know, because a lot of people say, yeah, but I got a great relationship. The minute you hold your relationship in a fixed place in your head, it stops getting greater. Because it's like growing. You've got to grow your relationship, and every day it's got to grow or it starts to die. You go, sounds like a lot of work to me. Trust me, it's worth it. And I'm sure you know it's worth it inside. So don't let these tools be the only tools that you hear about. Use these, but keep expanding your tools. There's so many great teachers in the area of relationship. In fact, that's one of the reasons why on this Personal Power 2 program, this special edition called The Driving Force that you have in your hands, I've done this special tape at the end. The one where I interview these remarkable people, and I picked 3 subjects, as you recall. One of those is how to make your body better, and I got Dr. Deepak Chopra there who I interviewed. Another one is how to do better in your career, which we did with Stephen Covey. And thirdly, reminder, you got to listen to that tape, is relationships. And for that, I have 2 people for you. I have Dr. John Gray, who wrote the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and I got a little sample of my interview from Barbara DeAngelis, who wrote the book Making Love All the Time. So the bottom line is you got to expand those tools. And again, if you're part of Power Talk, if you haven't done that and you really are enjoying what we're doing together, sign up so we can stay together in this relationship over the next year for Power Talk. And each month you'll get something new. And relationship is obviously one of the themes we come back to again and again. Please don't just listen to this. Use these tools and constantly expand them, and you can have the richness, the love, the passion, the connection you deserve, and you can make it last.
So what I'd like to talk about here is not only how to make relationships work, but what are the 2 factors that cause most relationships to die? Because we've all had that initial ignition experience where all of a sudden there's this incredible excitement and attraction. Remember that when you first met somebody you were totally attracted to and you thought you were in love? Maybe you were. Remember you met this person and, God, the minute you were with him, you just felt so incredible. You felt happy all the time for no reason. You started seeing things you hadn't seen before. You began to sing stupid songs in your car and stuff. Maybe in the middle of the night you thought of them and you called them up and said, were you thinking of me? And they said, yes, I was. And you thought, oh, this is so great. There was this incredible connection. But then maybe through the years, that changed. Maybe through the years, what happened is the level of intensity was not as high or gradually began to drop. How come? Well, there's a law in life that a lot of people fail to pay attention to, and it really costs them major. And the reason is it kind of creeps up on them. And I call it the law of familiarity. The law of familiarity simply says this: if you're around anything enough, you take it just a little bit for granted. And unfortunately, I think that's one of the big killers of human intimacy. You know, we get caught up.